Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in for another deep dive interactive conversation, so to speak. As in this week's episode, we're talking about connecting to inner peace. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdoms and communications through. And then later on in the episode, we have a snippet of this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So without further ado, we're going to dive in deep into this week's subject, which is connecting to inner peace. First of all, before we start this journey, I would like to invite you all on a date to get to know yourself. Now, I know a lot of us are busy with the hustle and bustle of life, and a lot of people will make the excuse, it's all right for you, you don't have to do this, and you haven't got to be here and be there. We can all make excuses under the sun, but nobody's going to do this work for us. And the best way that we can do this work, to know ourselves, is to sit with ourselves, to be with ourselves, not allowing ourselves to be distracted by social media, by TV, by newspapers, by friends, by family, by a car passing the front of your house. I'm just being a little bit flippant there with that one, but you get my point. What I'm saying is you need to make the space, make time for you. So set a date for you, some you time to get to know yourself. I said this many times before, but it is still very relevant, and that is that we are all changing and we are all evolving in every single second, in every single day. So with that being said, how can we begin to say to ourselves, yeah, I don't like that, I like that, I'm not sure about that, when in actual fact we're continually changing? So touching base with yourself, getting to know you, what makes you tick, what are your likes, what are your dislikes, what is your temperament? Because let's face it, we change who we are as an individual based upon our experiences, our interactions. And if we're still stuck in our head to a version of ourselves that existed 5 or 10 years ago, and we're still playing out that persona in our current timeline, and we're not allowing ourselves to touch base to understand who we are, then I would say that we're living a delusional life by doing that. So I'm inviting you to have a date with yourself. Get to know yourself. Be open. Be honest. A lot of us push this sort of work to one side and say, I haven't got time for that, as I've illustrated earlier. A lot of us just don't want to dig any deeper within ourselves because we're a little bit frightened of what we're going to find. We may not like that character who exists in the now. We may be familiar with that character that other people have loved and liked over the years, yet the essence of it, we're not that person anymore. There's elements, there's facets of that person, but as I say, we're continually evolving. So with this being said, I'm inviting you, as I say, on a date to get to know yourself. It's time to let that guard down of yours, and I'm talking about that masquerade. And if we're all open and if we're all honest, I'm sure we can all agree on the fact that we have various aspects of our personality that shield us from being wounded, from being ridiculed, from being hurt, from being judged. And this part of our persona is the masquerade that we Say if we interact with individuals in the workplace or out in public, there's a certain bravado that most of us carry around with us. Yes, most of us have a consistency with our personality and our traits, but there's still that little bit of a guard that we put in front of ourselves to keep ourselves protected from being hurt emotionally, mentally, spiritually on one level as well, sometimes physically. I don't condone that sort of behavior at all, but it does happen. So what I want to say is letting that guard down. It's easier to say it than do it, isn't it, if we're all honest? But how do you go about letting your guard down? Taking away the fears, being one of them. You are safe. You are protected. You're going to be all right. There's no harm going to come to you. You're absolutely fine to let that guard down and present yourself as you are. You don't need that bravado, that charade in front of you. And you will see who you are now in this current moment in time, this very second, once you let that guard down. Also, other people will be able to witness who you truly are in your now moment consciousness. It can be a scary thing if this is the first time you're going to be doing this, but it also can be the key that unlocks the door. It can be a very exciting opportunity in expanding your awareness, your consciousness, allowing joy, allowing positivity, allowing all of these beautiful things that you've been hiding away because you've been keeping yourself small under this masquerade. So it's time to let all that go and to trust you are safe. And when you start to discover these new aspects of yourself, the way that you think, the way that you analyze and on some level judge the world and the people and the experiences within it, in many respects, it shapes our reality. It shapes our world around us based upon who we are and our thought patterns. So if things aren't particularly working out in your favor, or you're feeling stuck like you're treading water, what I'm suggesting to you, by taking that responsibility, diving deep and getting to know you, who you are in this moment, will actually have a marvelous impact on your life and the way that you perceive the world and the way that the world reacts to you. And some of these old blocks that you've placed in front of yourself, maybe through a past thought or a past version of yourself, no longer exist. That moment has passed. You're just clinging on to it. So let it go. Trust and surrender and get to know who you are in this very moment. I would also say, once you arrive at this destination, it can be quite confusing because there's a lot of emotions that are floating around and a lot of thoughts that are kicking around your mind, and it may trigger emotional responses. Just allow yourself to go through this process. Again, you are safe. There's a great deal of healing that is occurring when you're going through this. So surrender to it. Allow the old thoughts to come up. Allow the old triggers to come up. What I've often said to clients and also students is, when this is the case, just talk to them like an individual. Do it obviously in your own company, but talk to these thoughts and say, thank you very much. Thank you for acknowledging who you are and what you're doing in my headspace. I really do appreciate you showing up today. But I choose that I no longer need this thought and this energy in my vibration anymore. I'm grateful, eternally grateful for the lessons I have learned from you. And because of you, I'm here, right now, having this conversation. But moving forward, I no longer require this energy within my vibration, or words to that effect. But what you will find by doing that, by taking your power back, by showing gratitude to those emotions, those thoughts in your mind, you're sending them away with love. And where there's love in your vibration, these old limiting thought patterns and emotions can no longer exist because they're not of a similar vibrational match. So when you show gratitude and you let them go and you shine your light more, then these limiting beliefs can no longer exist within your vibration. I would also like to recommend that it's time to celebrate you. Now, what I mean by that, a lot of us have been brought up in some way, shape or form to maybe criticize, cajole or put ourselves down. Oh, look at the state of me. I can't believe I'm going out like that. Oh, I've got that wrong again. You know the drama, you know the thoughts that are programmed into the back of our psychology. And they can be quite draining, quite demanding, and they can make us feel small. They can make us feel unwell at times and not in our present moment consciousness. So what I'm saying to you today is to celebrate you, your minor victories. Doesn't matter what they are. We've all got what we would personally consider as a victory. For some people, the fact that they've woken up in a morning and they've managed to get out of bed and tackle the world and tackle their day, that could be considered as a victory. And so instead of looking at it as, oh yeah, I only got out of bed, that's all I've done today, see it as a victory. You chose to get out of bed, you chose to move, and that deserves to be celebrated. Well done, I did it. I got myself moving today. I got myself motivated. I am worthy, I am deserving. And start to celebrate you. Even if it's something like showing up to work. A lot of people, we have to go to work, obviously, to earn, to live. And some days you don't feel like doing it. Let's face it, you're not feeling the vibe. And it takes a great deal of discipline and self-respect and motivation to move beyond those thoughts and emotions and to get yourself dressed and to turn up on time, to get yourself into work and to do that day's work there. That in itself, although a lot of people take that for granted, yeah, I've got work tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. That one in itself should be celebrated. You chose, you did that, you showed up, you are reliable, you are helpful, you are kind, you are a responsible being. That needs to be celebrated. And by doing these minor victory celebrations, what you will find is this will amplify your vibration. It will make you shine brighter. It will reset the programming that has been installed into you since childhood. And it will allow this new set of programming to enter your vibration. And with doing that, then every choice, every decision that you make, once you get used and familiar with this new level of thinking, will be coming from a perspective of high vibrational love and light and positivity, as opposed to seeing the darker side, the negative side first. So flipping the script round, celebrating the minor victories will have an impact on your life dramatically. Other people will notice this. It will also inspire them to think differently. They'll look at you differently and think, well, how are they doing that? What are they doing different to me? It may influence a little bit of jealousy. And, I'm not a fan of jealousy. I'm not a jealous person either. But that element of jealousy there could lead on to that person looking within, doing the inner work that you've done and doing a few tweaks and changes within their psychology and their emotions and their being in order to live life at a higher vibrational frequency. So by celebrating the mini victories, that's going to have such a dramatic effect on your life, and you're going to look at the world and your existence differently by doing that. Another thing I'd like to inspire you to do is to accept love for yourself. And some of us don't often do that. We may be natural givers, give to other people. And maybe that is a mechanism to distract us from giving the love and the care and the appreciation back to self. So we give it so openly and freely to others, even though there's a lot of people around us that don't necessarily deserve or appreciate that energy or that love that we're sharing with them. And I'm not judging anybody for having these experiences or doing this, but what I am suggesting is, instead of distracting yourself by giving and giving and giving till there's nothing left for you to give anymore, I want to say, look at yourself first. And this is not to be selfish, because the point of this exercise is for you to be aware of self. And when you're topped up, when your energy is imbalanced, then you'll have more love, more healing, more guidance, and more help that you can give and share with the world. And it won't be tainted with any of these old programs, these old belief systems. In actual fact, it will be pure, unconditional love that will benefit those around you on a deeper and higher level there. So accepting love for yourself, and you do this, you can do mirror work. I may have mentioned this before. Mirror work is where you get up in the morning, you do your ablutions, you're doing your teeth, you're brushing your hair, if you have any, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, in the eye. And again, this is not an ego exercise. You're connecting in with your soul by looking at yourself right in the eye. And you can use these affirmations. Ideally, if you say them out loud, it will amplify the experience. But I understand if you can't do that because of other people in the home. But what you want to be doing is looking at yourself in the eye and say, I love you. I appreciate you. And then comment on aspects of yourself that you're seeing in the mirror. My eyes are beautiful today. My skin is radiant today. I'm really grateful for that. You get where I'm going with this. And again, to some that are maybe observing you doing this, it may appear like it's an ego exercise, and it isn't at all. You're instilling that love for self, that gratitude, that appreciation, and that in itself can heighten your vibration. It puts you in that feel-good factor. We've all had it when we've been in relationships and somebody else has said this to us, and instantly we get an instant lift. It makes our heart sing. We feel a little bit giddy. We feel those butterflies in the stomach area there as well. What I'm saying to you, why can't you say and behave like that toward yourself and heighten your vibration? Give yourself those feelings every single day. You do not have to wait for somebody else or hint so that somebody else says those things to you so that you can reap the benefits of feeling those emotions and that experience of upliftment from the vibration of love. You can give it to yourself. Once you do this, then everything will change throughout the course of your day. You'll have a different vibration about you. With saying this, with your vibration changing, I want to encourage you to do what makes your heart sing. Now, what I'm talking about here is doing the things that you enjoy, that you love, where time just seems to go really quickly, where you're not conscious of anything else. You're just so involved and so at peace and just loving every second. So that could manifest for you in many forms. It could be your friends, having conversations, spending time with your friends. We've all been there where we feel like we've just met up with our friends and then 3 hours have gone and we've set the world to rights. We've had all manner of conversations, yet we feel in alignment, full of energy, really excited. I mean, that potentially can make your heart sing. It could even be a romantic partner as well, where you're gazing into one another's eyes, you're sharing life with one another and experiencing life together. That can make your heart sing. And again, time just kind of slips away, and it's because you're bathing or basking in that beautiful energy that you are creating with your heart. Hobbies and interests, we've all had them, we all do them. There's certain things that we enjoy, again, where everything else becomes irrelevant whilst we're doing these hobbies and interests. We're fully engaged, we're fully connected, we feel that joy, we feel that appreciation, we feel that upliftment in our soul and in our heart vibration, because we're choosing to do what makes our heart sing. So obviously, when you're doing this and allowing yourself to experience what makes your heart sing, a lot of us don't allow ourselves to do this for fear of judgment, for fear of appearing selfish or using excuses like I haven't got time. When am I going to do that? If you flip the script and change that around and just give a little bit back to yourself, even if it's once a week, maybe going to, a class or something, or doing some fitness exercises where there's other people involved, and you're doing it because it makes you feel good. It makes your heart sing. This will have an amazing impact, not only on your life, but on your vibration and those that you are interacting with. It can be very infectious when you're moving in this high vibrational landscape that you are now choosing to tread and walk on that path. May I say that staying in a place of non-attachment will also help you to stay in that peace vibration. I know it sounds obvious and it can be easier said than done, but I want to talk you through this a little bit. What I mean by staying in a place of non-attachment. I want to say that we're all aware of people around us, friends, family. There's gossip there, there's drama. We could even extend it to social media or TV episodes. Soap operas are classic for it. They have lots of drama, multiple stories that can pull you in and get your energy, and you've got your focus and you can be invested in it. And you can with, like I say, in your life. But what I want to say, rather than investing your energy into those micro dramas or situations, I would like to encourage you just to sit on the fence and be aware that these things are there. Yes, I'm aware that there's a situation there, but I'm not going to take sides. I can see the bigger picture. I can see the greater good in the situation. I'm not going to allow my energy to be drained or manipulated in a way that's going to take me away from the inner peace and bliss that I've worked so hard on to get into. So you see where I'm going with this. So don't let your energy be harvested or drained by these dramas, by these circumstances. And it's easier said than done, I know. And there's a vast amount of discipline involved in getting into this state. But when you become aware that some of these situations can drain you of your peace and make you feel tired, lethargic, snapping at people, saying the wrong words, and not feeling very great in yourself, not feeling inspired, feeling a little bit sluggish and lazy. When you're aware that, when people are harvesting your energies or you're choosing to invest your focus in on these dramas or situations, then when you're aware that you're doing that, you're aware of the feelings that it's imposing on you. And like we say, it's taking you away from your peace. It's making you not feel at your best. And so you have a choice to make when you face that. Do I want to invest my time and energy in these dramas and situations, or am I going to ignore them, so to speak, sit on the fence? A great example I'd like to share with you is basically anybody that's either worked in a noisy environment, or anybody that has children, or you've been in circumstances where there's lots of noise. Then you can either allow yourself to hear every little bit, every nuance of sound in that environment. And you can, we've all been there, the processing that takes from you, hearing snippets of conversations here and there, and that energy there, and your brain's doing somersaults. When a lot of us, without realizing, we numb it down. We dial out of that noise and we don't focus in on all of those conversations. Instead, we focus in on what's happening with the conversation that we're having in a noisy environment. And by doing that, we can communicate clearly without feeling overwhelmed. It's a similar situation with this, what I'm describing to you, is focusing in or focusing out of whatever situation you want to do will enhance your level of peace. This is how we do it, by dialing in. So I want to say, to stay in a place, this beautiful place of non-attachment, is such a gift. And once you get into this new way of being, honestly, it will change your life dramatically. You'll start to look at situations in your life, maybe old habits, routines, and you'll think, well, why am I doing that? I always feel anxious when I go there. Why am I connecting with those individuals? I always come back feeling drained and tired. And you'll start to, reassess your life and tailor it around your peace. I'd also like to say to you that knowing your vibration, having had a date with yourself, spending time with yourself, investing in yourself, like we've always said throughout this episode, that we're continually changing in every single second, in every single day. So when you get to know yourself on a deeper level, staying resilient in that vibration, this is where the effort is placed. And you'll start to become more resilient. You won't be swayed by others. You won't be persuaded to move out of your level of peace, because you'll have that respect for yourself and the level of love that you've started to invest in yourself. With this new level of love and respect shown for self, you'll start to set some healthy boundaries around your vibration, where you're going to be investing your time, your energy, your emotions. Where are you going to be focusing on? Where's your mind at? Are you going to choose to worry about the old dramas that once stole your energy from you? Or are you going to choose something better? Something that makes your heart sing? It takes a lot of practice to get to this level, and it doesn't happen overnight. But investing in yourself in this level will be the best use of your time that you will ever spend, because it will benefit so many other people, so many communities, and you'll shine your light even brighter than perhaps you've ever done before. You'll have that level of ease and grace, that subtle confidence that will be there, that knowing will be there. Setting healthy boundaries is paramount to stay in your level of peace. In the beginning, it may feel awkward. You may feel yourself being triggered by the fact that you're having to say no to people or situations. You don't necessarily have to explain your choices. No should be enough. But if you do happen to want to explain your choices, then you can have this conversation about peace. A lot of people will look at you, gone out, whilst you're having this conversation. But most people will go away after that conversation, and there'll be something in the wording that you chose to use with them that will set those cogs clicking away in their mind, in their vibration. And gently, shall I say, you have subtly passed on that baton of light to them. And again, it's down to free will. It's down to personal choices, whether they wish to move in whichever direction they choose. So choosing peace over stress. Let's face it, when we're all honest with ourselves, I would say 99% of us want that. We want peace. We want love. We want life to flow. We want the bounty in life, don't we? We want to visit beautiful things. We want to have beautiful people in our lives. We don't want that stress and that worry. Having said this, though, not everything, as we know, is sunshine and daisies. Via the gift of contrast, some of these things that we don't want in our life, just looking at the other side of the coin, are actually catalysts for us to get into our highest vibration. So circumstances that we don't like can trigger us into thinking, actually, I don't like this. I want peace. Why am I going through this? Why am I allowing myself to experience this? I choose peace instead. So it's triggering you to see what's happening, to make a decision, and to choose peace, something with ease and grace, with no resistance. So it can be a great catalyst, some of these things that happen in our life. Not everything, as I say, is sunshine and daisies, but it's here to serve you. And I'm a firm believer of that. Everything is your teacher. Everything is here to serve you and to help you maybe to make a new decision so that you can align with a higher timeline or pathway in your life. I've said this many times, our spirit guides, our higher self, and our spirit family in the world of spirit, obviously, they can inspire us. They can help us. They can bring forward inspiration, guidance, but they will never tell you what to do. You have to take that responsibility for yourself. You have to make that decision. And when you've made that decision, then this is where life can change in miraculous ways. So removing the stress and turmoil, I would say, should be your ultimate priority. Most of us are kept distracted with life, with work, with family, with friends, with our responsibilities, but we don't often have the deep thought process that I'm bringing to the party, if you like, today in this conversation. And hopefully, in having this conversation with you, albeit a lot of the things that I've spoken about are simply quite obvious, but sometimes it takes somebody to have this conversation to maybe reconnect you with your soul and think, well, yeah, I think like that. Why am I doing that? Sometimes it takes that person just to do that. And I hope that I've been that person in your life today that's given you that inspiration to show that love, that peace, that serenity to yourself. Because let's face it, everything benefits when you're feeling at your best, when you're feeling in alignment. So I hope that's helped you. Thank you so much for listening to this young man here, shooting the breeze with you. And if I could give you any bit of advice, any more bits of advice, I'd quite simply say, love thyself. Well, how is everybody doing this week? I'm just wanting to touch base with you all and ask if you're noticing these changes that are occurring. I certainly feel more easygoing, more relaxed than usual. Normally I get stressed about various things and situations, but now I'm kind of easing into life, which is quite unusual because I'm very organized as an individual. And to suddenly sort of just have that element of letting go is quite phenomenal, really, when I think about it personally. So I just wanted to ask if anybody else is noticing these changes that are occurring. It's very interesting, isn't it? Very empowering, I feel. Also wanted to share something else with you all, as I've experienced something that's rather peculiar this week. Basically, I went to the gents' toilets, as you do as a gent, and us gents, we use the urinals, and I stood at the urinal, and there were this gentleman at the side of me, smaller in height to myself, and he was an Asian ethnic. And anyway, you don't think anything of it when you're standing at the urinal. You can see out of your peripheral vision. And I knew that this gentleman was smaller in height than myself. And basically, out of the corner of my eye, I saw another ethnic gentleman that was overshadowing this gentleman that was taller than him, I would say around my height, that was staring at me. And I could see this out of my peripheral vision, and it was quite peculiar. I got chills up the back of my spine, and to me that's an indication that spirit is very much present. When I was having this interaction, I didn't tune in, I didn't have a conversation, obviously. I was in the toilet. I was using the toilet there. So it's very much a private thing, and you don't go about doing that. So I didn't tune in, but it was one of those weird and strange moments that I've ever had using the public conveniences there. So I just thought I'd share that with you, as random as it is. And if anybody else has had some weird and wonderful experiences, it'd be fascinating to hear from you. And this was totally unprovoked, unexpected, and I could see it clear as day, and it looked like this gentleman was trying to get my attention. This spirit gentleman that was overshadowing the gentleman in the physical form stood at the side of me in the urinal in the gents. How bizarre. How bizarre indeed. Okay, so in a moment, we're going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdoms and communications through. And again, I absolutely adore this part of the show because I have no idea what's going to come through. I record the sessions and I don't listen to them back until the production of the radio show. So I'm very much excited to hear what's going to come forward, as much as you guys and girls are. So sit back, relax, take some notes if you wish to do so, and enjoy this week's channeling. We come here with great tidings. We are a collective called Samson, and we bring beautiful light codes and high vibrations forward for you to heighten your vibration. There is a lot occurring around your earth plane at this moment in time. There is a jostling for position of control, and authoritarian personas are fighting for this position. It is at this time that you are encouraged to take responsibility for your own vibration, instead of looking towards saviors or putting people or characters on a pedestal. We assure you that you are the savior that you have been looking for all this time. And the only way out of a situation is to create a new one. And that new one can be created from you internally, owning your light, owning your power. We understand that to a lot of you, using this terminology, light and power, sounds wishy-washy, neither here nor there. So to help you recognize your true divinity, the light and the power that we speak of is that indelible light and intensified drive to move forward beyond your current limitations, beyond your current position in life. Many of you, despite external circumstances, have felt this drive in your life and pushed it to one side, keeping yourself small, thinking that you're not worthy of the things that your true self is stirring you towards. We say that it is within this fire in your gut, this drive and passion, that will catapult you on your highest timeline, allowing you to take responsibility for who you and what you truly are in all aspects of your life. The next time you are filled with this passion and drive, we implore you to follow and trust in its leadership, for it will pull you through the stickiest of mires that you have been working through, and it will take you to the path of least resistance, into another timeline, a higher timeline, where things fall into alignment, where your environment changes, where the collective consciousness that you are aware of changes, and you fall into alignment with communities that match your vibration and emanate your passion. There will be a lot of letting go of in order for this to occur, and what we mean by this is people, places, circumstances that no longer fall into alignment with who you are will naturally drop away from your vibration. You will not have to do anything physically or emotionally or mentally at this time other than let it, allow it to flow, allow it to fall by the wayside. For this will be a struggle and a test of your testimony and patience and faith in the drive that you will all be feeling, that passion in your solar plexus that is pulling you forward. Now is the time to trust that, and it is taking you on a higher trajectory. Once you are beginning to fall into this category of higher vibrational timelines, you will notice that your day-to-day experiences will change. Your hearing will be adjusted. You'll notice that your ears will be popping and changing vibration. You'll be noticing that your eyesight will be going in and out of focus, and that it will tune into a sharper vibration where colors seem more lifelike and vivid and have a vibration about them. You will also notice that your desire to eat and have gluttony and eat until you are satisfied will begin to diminish. Instead, you will eat little and often, and have the foods that will sustain you and help you to thrive in this new timeline. You will, however, feel the tendency to drink more natural-based fluids to keep you high vibrationally charged and hydrated. You will notice that your belief systems will change, and you will find yourself eating humble pie. And we mean that you'll be what once stood with you no longer stands with you in your belief systems. You have changed. You have evolved. And with this being the case, you will have to admit the wrongs and embrace the rights. And we say there's only judgment that separates both of those statements. So we urge you to be in contact with divine oneness, where there is no judgment. There is only here and now. And when you focus in on the here and now, that will be your dominant frequency and your dominant belief system. So take one moment at a time and allow it to thrive and flow. You will notice that your physical appearance will begin to change. Your skin will have a glow and luster about it that it didn't previously. Your eyes will have a sparkle and a twinkle that denotes a life beyond the life that is being perceived by others. It's a spark, a divine twinkle of light. You will notice that you will start and leave high vibrational frequency codes wherever your concentration, wherever your presence, wherever your physicality happens to be. That vibrational coding will be left there for others to follow and heighten their frequency and dimension. It is part of your path. You will also notice within these changes that you'll embrace spending beautiful time connecting with oneness and aligning with your true essence. For some, this will feel like a lonely period of your time. For others, it will feel like divine mastery. Again, there is no judgment, only observations and only here and now experiences. The choice is always yours on what you wish to focus on. We implore you to remain neutral at all times, as this will alleviate the struggles that you potentially may have to face depending upon your choices. We want you all to know that everything that you require for you to exist and fulfill your timeline, your soul alignment and soul agreement will be made readily available to you. We ask that you do not wonder how, why, what, and when. The tools, the circumstances, the financial situation, the support, the help, and the guidance is coming from. We encourage you to have faith and to be in alignment with that drive, that passion that pulls you from your solar plexus. It is this energy that is going to bring in everything that you need to fulfill your highest calling. We would like to take this opportunity to thank you for listening to this transmission. We endeavor to come forward from time to time with regular updates and help in order for you to remain in your highest objective. May we ask those of you that are paying attention to open up your heart chakra, your energy center, the intelligence of the soul, and allow those that resonate with you to enter your vibration on an energetic, mental, emotional connection. Those of you that have been keeping yourself small in connection to bonds with soulmate relationships, we implore you that opening your heart is the start of this magical process, where only those that match your vibration will resonate with you. But ultimately, you have a choice to make, a commitment, and only you can make that for yourself. We now leave you with this message of love and kindness, and we hope it finds you well, and that you may utilize this information to heighten your vibration and live in your highest timeline. For you, all that are listening to this transmission are leaders, and your role is to lead humanity and lead the vibrations of planet Earth into the highest timeline. And the only way you can do that is by trusting that drive, that passion, that fire in your vibration, and everything will come to you on a need-to-know basis only. For if you were to know too much information, it would clutter up the mind and cause confusion, and you would not engage in your highest timeline because you would be questioning too much and blocking. So trust is the key and optimal word for every moment of your life moving forward. We send you our deepest love and protection, and know that we are always around you. I say we as I'm referring to the higher vibrational collective, as we like to be known as Samson. We come from galaxies far away, and collectively we bring forward the wisdom, the healing, and the vibrational codes that are needed at this point in your Earth's timeline. We will come forward on regular occasions to share and offer suggestions of help and guidance for your planet. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. What a fantastic communication from a new line of communicators, the collective that like to be known as Samson, which was a blessing, wasn't it, to hear from that? Felt very empowered. Nice to know about they come with healing and light codes to bring those forward, to get us onto our new timeline. Also that the energies are changing around the earth plane, and we need to take more responsibility for our own vibration. And we are our own salvation. If only we recognize that, then maybe we can move forward with a lot more ease and grace. Also, releasement is essential for growth, and allow the old to fall, and have faith in this process as it does so. Connecting your time to your timeline is paramount. So beautiful, beautiful connection there to that ray of light. So we're moving into the next segment of the show, which is this week's forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 1st of September 2025. Now, those of you that have watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and consult the wisdom of the angel tarot cards. So what I'm about to do is shuffle the cards and allow a card to come out for this week's forecast reading. So this is your card for this week's reading. I'm now going to link into the feeling and vibration of it. First of all, I'm being told that this week is going to be a spectacular week for you. New doors are opening, in particular in connection with your heart chakra. I feel as though you're going to be more open with people, more generous with your own time, and letting them get to know you on a deeper level. You'll also have the attractor factor this week, where you will attract the right people that need to be in your life. And also I feel as though there's going to be people that will be exiting your life this week. I'm talking about friendships, associates that are just going to go about their own business and carry on with their own lives. And I feel as though that's going to create some beautiful space for you to involve some beautiful new characters into your life. So just be non-judgmental, go with the flow, and have an open heart at all times. This week we'll see you juggling your time and energy. I do feel a lot of you watching this are very busy individuals, and you'll find yourself making new. This is the end of the free version of the weekly forecast reading. If you would like to see the entirety of this week's forecast reading, then you can do that by subscribing. And as a subscriber, what you will receive is the full version of the weekly forecast reading. You will also receive the audio for the weekly radio show, and also you'll receive 10% off all of my spiritual services there. So this includes all of the readings there for you to benefit from. And also you will receive new updates and information and news of what's happening with myself and the services that I provide, and also the events that I take part in. You'll hear all about that ahead of everybody else. And this is because you're a subscriber to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. So you can find a link either above or below this video, where by clicking on the link, you can then become a subscriber to reap all of the benefits that I've described to you. So I look forward to having you on this journey with me as a Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium subscriber. Thank you for taking time to watch this video and supporting the work that Spirit and myself work together in doing so. I hope you enjoyed that forecast reading, albeit a snippet into it. But like the advertisement says, if you want to hear the full version, then you can become a subscriber by going over to my website. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed this show that has been predominantly channeled and influenced by Spirit. I hope the content and the information has made your curious mind go into overload and go into that excitement vibration. And also, if you're like me, I really absolutely adored the channeling from this new batch, shall we say, of communicators, a collective called Samson. I felt very honored to have channeled that and listened back to that as well. So I also would like to extend the invitation that if any of you out there have any stories of the paranormal or self-help or spiritual development that you would like to share with the show, I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you have any questions around self-help, paranormal and spiritual topics, then please do contact me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. It would be absolutely incredible to hear from you and get your feedback on the show. That would be much appreciated. But what I wanted to basically tell you as well is what I am starting to do is more paranormal investigations and events as well. And I really enjoy these because this is where I connect with Spirit directly, connecting to the land, the location, do psychometry. And also I enjoy encouraging members of the public that come on, guests, to enhance their natural sensitivity and connect in with those atmospheres and energies. Because I'm a firm believer that we all have the abilities to connect in and to communicate with spirit and energy. It's down to the fact that we've either been programmed or our belief systems have been doctrinized to such a point where we don't have that faith in that we can do it. We put our power into other people that can do it. And I want to say that firsthand, I've witnessed so many people enhance their sensitivity on these events and actually had paranormal accounts, experiences with energy, and they never realized that this was what was happening all along. So I feel very blessed to be involved in this type of work. And it does make my heart sing, seeing people open up and realizing for the first time that, oh, wow, yes, I can see that. Yes, I can hear that. So I thought I'd share that with you. Anyway, I look forward to tuning in with you next week at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on all of my social media. Take care. God bless. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond.
For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to glennboddice spiritualmedium.com.